unified. Bless our leadership, that we'd be able to pass on leadership to successfully to an up-and-coming generation. Help us to be a blessing so that when we have left our mark, we would have left Yaden in a better state than which we found it. Amen.
Amen.
Let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we have every Mayor's Forum, we do have a topic, as well as Q&A at the end, where we, it's an open forum where you could engage the panel, myself, counselors, and today we have a special speaker, special guest, and it's none other than my wife, Sister Joy, and I'll introduce her in a minute, but to my left, I want to introduce my far left Borough Manager, Rafi Cave. Good to see you. And Lamont Collins, I'm sorry. And then we have
Leanna Roadcloud.
Leanna Roadcloud. So introduce yourself. Tony Nicole Beatty.
Good evening.
And to my right, Sister Joy Hepkins, and we have our chief, Henry Gianmarco. And Mike, I didn't see Mike. Well, Mike Fazzullo, Director of Public Works. We have an interesting or important topic tonight. We have a lot of area. If you have your handout, we have all these area hospitals that have closed, 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. And it really leaves the load, a burdening load on the remaining 4. Paoli's not really in our area, but it really impinges upon not just regular residents, but our emergency service and what we can do. And we're going to discuss that tonight. My wife, Joy, is a nurse, nurse navigator at Mercy Fitzgerald. She's been there for 30, 35 years. And she helps patients navigate the health system. If they don't have insurance, she helps them find insurance. If they're underinsured, she helps them with that. She also navigates the modalities for cancer patients, what it does, and explains that. So she's well versed in medical care, and I thought it would be a good idea for having her to speak. And I speak a lot in the church, and sometimes the congregation says, let's hear from your wife. He's speaking too much now. But anyway, here's another opportunity. Here's an opportunity to hear from her. And let's give her a round of applause as she comes forward.
Thank you. Thank you. It's really nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me, and also thank you for welcoming me to this forum. I will just put a quick disclaimer there to say that the topic we have to discuss is extremely broad and complex. It doesn't have like a straight up way of presenting. It's just little pieces everywhere that I try to pull together as best as I can to make you understand the difference between Medicare and Medicaid, and then to see what impact with the non-funding that we know is coming will have on our remaining hospitals, as well as individuals who are seeking for insurance coverage for care. Okay, so with that said, first I want to know, are there any social workers here? Any social workers? No? Okay. Healthcare workers? Healthcare, okay. Healthcare worker? Okay. And Angela, okay, nice. So, what is Medicare and what is Medicaid, and what impact will that have on the people and on the state of Pennsylvania moving forward? First, I just want to introduce the CMS, which is the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. It's a federal agency that runs the Medicare, Medicaid program, and other healthcare coverage, administering the programs, and also setting policies and standards for healthcare quality and payouts. It serves to the public as well for healthcare community by ensuring people will have access to affordable and high quality health coverage through programs such as Medicare, Medicaid, the CHIP program, which is the Children Health Insurance Program. So we'll start with Medicare. What is Medicare? Medicare is a federal agency, and it provides coverage for people who are over 65 years old. We'll go into detail with that in a little bit. It sets quality standards to improve quality, care, equity, and outcomes for healthcare for all Americans. The funding of the program, where does it come from? Medicare is funded through the trust fund account held by the U.S. Treasury, which is supported by the payroll taxes paid by employees, employers, and self-employed individuals. So I'm sure all of you know when you look at your paycheck, right? Do you see it there? Social Security and Medicare. So you pay into that program that when you turn 65, you're able to redeem it. But Medicare also covers for people who never supported the Medicare program. It also provides policy guidance, and CMS provides federal policy guidance for Medicare and other programs. So who's eligible for Medicare? People who are 65 years and older, regardless of their work history. People who have disabilities before they turn 65. Younger people who have received social security disability due to medical problems, chronic medical problems, will receive Medicare. And some people who have end-stage renal disease because of the dialysis will also be receiving Medicare. Those with permanent kidney disorder, amyloidosis, as well as ALS and MS patients. And what does it cover? What does Medicare cover? So Medicare has 4 different parts. Does anyone know that? It's 4 different parts, okay? Part A, B, and C, and D. And now there's also G, H, I, J, but we're not going to go into that. So Part A is once you turn 65 or when you need it, it's really a hospital stay, skilled nursing, hospice, and some other health care that would cover. Part B covers for medical services like ambulances, durable medical equipment, mental health care, and limited outpatients prescriptions. Part C is interesting in that it's known as Medicare Advantage, and these are plans that are offered by private insurances where they combine Part A, which is hospital, and Part B, which is medical. Sometimes they'll take from D as well. D is prescription. So basically what that does, these private insurances, once you have that Medicare, that pure Medicare, which is Part A and B, they want you to sell them that, and they buy it from you, and they bundle it, as they call it, bundle, where they'll make it easier that everything is together, the hospitalization, the medical, the doctor's visit, as well as the prescription. It doesn't work for everyone, okay? I see that a lot with my patients. And a lot of the people are those who are 65, they get these phone calls and they are told a nice story, and next thing they know, they sit with the insurance that really doesn't help them. And they've sold their Medicare to somebody. So Part D, as we said, covers insurance. Medicaid.
Like selling your Medicare to a private company, you're like selling your Medicare insurance.
Yeah, to a private insurance, and they'll bundle it. In other words, they'll put A, B, and some cases D. So that's where that problem happens with some of the patients, that they don't know that D is added, and when they go to the pharmacy, it's not covered. And then they're still paying a little fee to that as well. It can be as much as $185. Okay. So the next one, which is the more complicated one, Medicaid. Medicaid is a public health insurance program that's for families and people who have limited income or no income, and it is also for children, pregnant women, older adults who may not have any coverage, and people with disabilities. The purpose of the Medicaid is to help for medical costs for individuals and families who have a low income or who don't work and don't have an income. It varies state by state. It is based on income and other factors. They'll ask you for a whole bunch of factors, your housing, your banking, and a lot of other stuff before you can get the insurance. The funding. This is where we're going to spend a little bit more time. It is a joint federal and state program where the federal government reimburses the states for a portion of their costs. And as you know, that may stop in the next few years. Hospitals rely a lot on that income from the state that comes from the federal government. Our hospital is a nonprofit organization, and it relies on the Medicaid expansion, which I will discuss in a little bit. So the Medicaid expansion supports affordable health care by continuing or extending the enhanced premium tax credit, which is what we want government to do right now for this year, will help fund for the hospitals and have people having affordable insurance. Without which, the loss of that coverage, it will increase our taxes, and there will be no or limited or none insurance coverage for those who need it. There will be a strain on the healthcare system. This expiration of this expansion can also have added pressure on healthcare systems, including bad debt on hospitals and healthcare systems, forcing them to fold, close, as it puts a strain on their care. And that's what happened with most of the hospitals that we saw close down. And it's really a combination of events. If an area is, and especially now with the baby boomers getting older, some not working, relying on Medicare, and then you have those who are on lower socioeconomic, don't have enough insurance, depend on Medicaid. These two, if there's a hospital that's going to be paying that out, it puts a strain on the hospital because don't get that. They get is very, very limited. And it will then make their to survive and sustain their hospital or keep it open. Our hospitals go through that now. Many other hospitals are having difficulties with this. So there are some hospitals that do not like the Medicaid because, for the very reasons, providers who do not accept Medicaid patients because of inadequate reimbursement. The reimbursement is inadequate, and not only that, the administrative fees are getting or approving that Medicaid reimbursement is so much more, straining the hospitals. So there are advantages and disadvantages of accepting Medicaid, but the disadvantages far outweighs the advantages as far as hospitals are concerned. But for individuals, it is care as opposed to hospitals who are struggling to keep alive or keep sustaining themselves with a low. Any questions? So. Yes, yeah.
So how do you find out what is the income base level to apply for Medicaid?
Right.
What is the
Good question.
minimum?
Yeah, so in the state of Pennsylvania, as I said, it varies state by state. Some states do not even have the Medicaid the way like Pennsylvania has. All right, so if you're an individual by yourself, it's $2,908. And if it's a joint husband and wife, it's $5,600 that you should have in the bank to get free Medicaid.
What is your monthly income?
That is your monthly income. Your monthly income of $2,900. Or less, yeah. Thank you. And if you have above, which is still, $2,900 these days is very little. I think if you still have a little bit more and you need it, they'll work out an index where you'll pay something maybe like $50 a month, a premium towards it. Now there's, once you apply and you get approved, you'll get a MA card, and they will tell you that within 15 days you have to make a call or visit the county to choose your insurance. So there's 4 or 5 of them. Keystone First is one, United Health is the other, Health Partners is the other, and there's a new one that's out called Geisinger. I believe Geisinger was some kind of a hospital entity somewhere in Harrisburg, and now that's moving over here, so that's new, that's added. So you choose any one of those, and everyone is individualized based on what your needs are. Your health needs, if you have higher comorbidities, then you may go to Keystone First, for instance, because that covers more, and you may have to pay a premium, depending what you want covered. Any other questions? No? Yeah. What? Ooh, somebody asked a question? No? So do we understand why the hospitals in this area closed? Is most of them was lack of funding, and some were funded extra money to stay alive, like Delaware County Memorial, and but they're supposed to be still staying open until 2027, but they were not able to sustain, I guess, based on the clientele. Yes.
Sexual issues that affect her future sterile.
Yes, we're a nonprofit organization, and we, like 1/3 of our sustenance comes from the state. And if that expansion doesn't occur, that Medicaid expansion, it will really affect our hospital. We don't know yet. Yeah.
Where did it change that federal Medicaid?
So, good question. In 2021, and as you know, the Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, is part of a Medicaid, and it's called Medicaid expansion. So what they did, they expanded Medicaid from the 2,900 maybe to other people, or anyone can get an affordable care through the Medicaid, which is this expansion. But now they are trying to take that away and not, they want it to expire, and they don't want to continue funding for that to the state to have those people be able to apply for insurance. In 2021 was the largest Medicaid expansion ever. That was after the pandemic. I wrote over 10 million people access care due to the Medicaid expansion. And that is all due to this premium taxes that states get that helps, like hospitals, organizations such as that. So if they cut that out, that's going to affect those existing, to fund for themselves. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. My pastor, Rowan asked, so will people lose? Yes, we will have more people more people who will have less insurance coverage. And the premiums are going to go high by 75% if nothing is done. So we do. And, just before I left here, I just got a thing in my computer to, solicit Congress to continue, not to allow the expiration of the expansion this year. Because if that happens, it's going to have bad debts for hospitals. There's going to be uncompensated care. There's going to be a strain in hospital care. There's going to be inaccessible insurance for people. And the list goes on and on. Sorry to be a bearer of bad news. And it does affect my work as a cancer nurse. I will tell you that at least 2/3 of our patients that come through our doors and are found to have cancer don't have insurance. Or if they have insurance, it's limited insurance that I have to, tap in with Harrisburg to boost it up and add more to it, or apply for them for insurance with Medicare, with Medicaid. And that's the only way we survive. And even with that, those patients don't have the money to pay the extra that they need because cancer care is very expensive. I mean, an average care or treatment for cancer patient is $80,000 a month. $80,000 a month. If you see their bills that come, like for radiation, is like $60,000 a week. Cancer costs, chemotherapy, depending what you get, can be anywhere from $10,000 to $450,000. We have a patient that's getting a medication that's $250,000 every other week.
So if you don't have health care and your cancer treatments is $250,000 every other week, who pays?
Medicaid. That's why we need Medicaid. We can't let it go. And if some patients, I encourage them, especially as a matter of fact, today I had my support group. Roz was one of my patients. And I did a dry run of this to give a presentation. So I encourage my patients, and I'll encourage you as well, if you are 65 years old and you are getting Medicare, try to partnership that with a secondary insurance such as Medicaid or even a Blue Cross Independence. You'll pay less because you're already covered with Medicare. And so if you can pay like $100 or $120 a month, that will help you then just not having Medicare when you need something extra and it's $400 or $500, you're better off paying that $120 a month than having to pay those big chunks that comes along the way. The other thing it does, it will help you from falling into the donut hole. Does anyone know what a donut hole is? So with Medicare, you only get so much a year, and that's like the donut. So if you eat up all the donut, you're going to fall in the hole before the year's over. So having that extra insurance or secondary to pad it will keep you in better stead and keep you away from debt and keep you away from worrying and get your treatments in your care. The link for Medicaid, you can just Google it, just medicaid.gov or Medicaid's, or CMS. If you just do cms.gov, it will come up, and then, because I just did that for this presentation, there is a place you just have to find to log in and then get some questions.
It's like a secondary insurance versus you have to just go to the secondary insurance. So that means secondary insurance folks
that choose to have it, who have Medicare, yes. Yeah, but if you're young, if you're not 65 and you're younger and you want to, you can't get Medicare, you go to the Medicaid and you apply and you can choose Keystone, United Health, and so forth. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So another thing, maybe that those people had debt, insurance, because it gets afforded.
Uh-huh. Yes. If you can't afford insurance, and this was made possible as far just as a history right after World War II, they had the CMS that I just talked about that then encouraged the Medicare, and that's when people who worked in their payroll, they got the Social Security and Medicare, and then slowly Medicaid came along for those who don't have insurance, particularly at that time was for children. That's how it started, and then it came for those who don't work or cannot work or who earn very, very little. And then the government decided to have this and give the states the money so people can apply so they can get coverage. That's how that worked for years. And then when we have the Obamacare, he wanted to expand it because it wasn't enough for everyone and it wasn't covering for everyone. And with healthcare growing and baby boomers getting more in number and living longer and needing more medical care, that's why he expanded it. Therefore, and it makes good sense. It makes good sense to do that. But now they want to shrink it away, while the baby boomers are still there. Guess what? I'm one of them. And if they take that away, we're screwed. Yes, ma'am. How this cascading effect impinges on, oh, that will be the police, yeah. Yeah, they'll talk about that. Yeah. And I mean, just as a history as well, I want to just to compare our country, the United States, with the healthcare system with other countries. And I know you've heard this word that most in our country don't want to hear, which is socialized medicine. I mean, the whole world does socialized medicine, and it works. It works. And just think about it. Why do 2/3 of Americans cross the border to Canada to get medication? They have socialized medicine. Why? See that? Do you see this? Do you see that logic now? And they want to stop that from happening. So in Canada, they have socialized medicine. I was just with a friend this weekend. She's a South African. And, she had got hit in the eye with something, had a little eye infection that became blepharitis rosacea, which is a really bad infection. She needed this very expensive medication. And in the United States, it was funded by Lilly. She didn't have insurance here. She's from South Africa, and she had to buy it. And it was $480, a small tube this much. She could only get 5 treatments out of that. And she went to South Africa, and she took the tube and thought, oh my God, if I paid $400, I can't imagine. And she went to the pharmacy, and she bought it, and they's like, yeah, we have it. And they gave it to her, 210 rands. If you divide that by 15, it's less than $10. Less than $10 for the same exact. She said she looked at the tubes. There's no difference. So, and I know when we went, Pastor had I think it was from the long plane ride, he had a polyp in his nose that I happened to see one morning. And so we went to the pharmacy to see if I can get this medication for him. And he, when we went there, I was like, oh, I know it's going to cost. I knew what we needed to get. It was like a Flonase, something with a steroid and other medications. And I thought we're going to, well, whatever it's cost, we're going to have to get it. And we went to the counter. It was $4. $4. And here I mean, the Flonase here is very expensive. It's like $11. So that's the difference, and we need to fix. I think what we need to maybe pray for is to fix. We need to fix our medical system in the United States. I don't know how we can do it. We tried to do it in different stages, but I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Okay. And for those who are Medicaid, the enrollment period is in October. Okay, for Medicare. Any other questions? No? All right, Mayor, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm sure it's well, your knowledge on that topic is well appreciated. And we're all in the throes of those coverages or lack of coverages, and we want to continue to explain what that means. These closed a flyer that I gave out. So all these area hospitals closed. Some of the mental health facilities have closed also, which impinges upon overall health care, where you see what's happening in the news, and some people that there's not enough health care, mental health care facilities either, to take care of those types of patients where they're being taken care of on an outpatient basis. Those with chronic health issue, mental health issues. In our area, you saw Riddle, Riddle's still open, but Taylor and Crozier is closed. Delaware County Memorial Hospital is closed. And Mercy Philadelphia is closed or not the same. And that doesn't impinge upon our public safety and what the police could do. For example, they get a lot of calls for mental health issues, domestic, where they have to 302 someone, and there's a lack of services. But I will give it over to the Chief Gianmarco, where he could update us on what that means to police departments such as ours.
Good evening, all. Thank you to the First Lady for that. It's a really important issue. It's affecting us. I can tell you right now, it's really has been affecting us with the closure of Chester Crozier Hospital. The issue we're having now is we're responsible for the emergency department. So when there's an issue with the emergency department, when they dial 911, our department responds. What's been going on is other jurisdictions will bring a 302 patient in a commit because Chester Crozier Crisis is closed now. So Fitz is actually taking the patients into their ED. The patients, if they're not secured, they'll leave the ED, the emergency department, emergency room, whatever you want to call it, and then we'll get a call to actually go find them again. Now they just notified us a couple weeks ago they have a new policy. If a 302 patient has charges on them, an officer must stay with that person the entire length of their stay or until they're actually transferred to a different hospital. We had a meeting a couple months ago, and the First Lady could verify this, hopefully. They said that there was a patient in the ED that was going through a 302 commit for 6 days in the emergency department before they found a bed for this person. So it's putting a strain on everyone's resources. And I know the mayor's been saying in council, we are fully staffed, but this is what fully staffed looks like. If we have 4 officers working, one takes a vacation day, you're down to 3. Now you have a 302 commit that you have to stay with, now you're down to 2. If you have an arrest, now you're down to 1. That's what it's looking like, and it's really it's putting a strain on us. Hopefully they'll award a contract. I keep hearing Belmont's name get tossed around. I'm not sure if Belmont's going to get it. I can tell you, I sat in on the proposals, the RFPs. They had about 6 area chiefs. They were all impressive. We work great with Elwyn. Elwyn's an organization that teams up with us. They go out, boots on the ground, social workers, mental health care workers. They've been working tremendous with us. But it's definitely putting a strain. We just had an incident today where someone got off a bus, was yelling. Our officers did a great job, brought them to 302, the individual. So it's definitely putting, and I keep stressing it, it's putting a strain on everyone. And it really is. I mean, and what we did is we applied for a couple grants to get AED machines, the defibrillators, because of what happens is now you have the paramedics and the EMTs running all over. So we'll have two defibrillators, two AEDs on the street at all times. They were purchased with a grant, so it didn't come out of any of our funding. It was grant purchased. We actually updated 2 first aid kits that will be on the street all the time. Stop the bleed. God forbid we need them. That's another, it's straining the EMS system, because the other thing, and a couple times when the mayor would call and say, hey, I heard there was a shooting in town, what'll happen is someone will, be shot, whether it's in another jurisdiction or being transferred by private vehicle. They'll see an ambulance, they'll wave them down, and then the ambulance will come over to radio and say, hey, we have a shooting victim that, at Church and Bailey. Well, they weren't shot at Church and Bailey. They were trying to find the hospital. They just stopped an ambulance. So we're dealing with a lot of that now, a lot of walk-in shooting victims at Mercy Fitz because Chester Hospital is closed, or Chester Crozier is closed, so we're dealing with that overflow. I think the one night, if I'm not mistaken, they said they had over 150 people in the ED, which from going from maybe 50 a night to 150, and they're strained too. I mean, they're dealing with patients that are now causing assault cases because the patients are waiting so long in the emergency room that they're getting upset and they're going after staff members. So it is definitely a crisis that we're all enduring and we're all trying to work together. And we have a great relationship with the hospital, and that's why we're all trying to work together to try. It's a crisis. And as you pointed out, the medicine, the social medicine with the Medicaid, I mean, I don't understand. We live in a great country, but yet we have people going without medical insurance and coverage and food insecurities, which will lead me to something else. I was involved with, it's called New Blue, and it's basically an organization that has like-minded individuals that realize that the system is broke, but if you get together, you can fix the system and work together to try to, fix the system. So the Yaden Police Department, we came up with it's called a path card. It's providing assistance to help. So I have another squad to train, but essentially what's going to happen is if you're arrested in Yaden, we have a simple form that we're going to ask if you want to fill it out. It's a voluntary form. And some of the questions on the form, choose to fill it out. I already cleared it with Jack Stolzheimer. The DA said we're good to go, and we're going to beta test it. If it works, he wants to hopefully roll it out to other jurisdictions. But essentially, just some of the questions on it: are you receiving, or do you have food insecurities, or do you have a substance abuse problem, or you have an employment issue? Is there family issues, safety, child care assistance? Do you need medical care? Do you have mental health concerns? These are just questions to show that, if we keep getting the same person at the Family Dollar stealing food, maybe there's an issue. I mean, I'm not saying that, we're trying. We're trying every angle we can to try to help. And I have one more squad to train, and that's going to be, again, voluntary. They can fill it out if they want. They don't have to fill it out, and then we're going to have a soft handoff. We have organizations. It'll all be kept confidential, but we have safe handoff to contact an organization. Like we can contact Elwyn and say they're having mental health issues. And that's just something we're trying to do, just to try to help as best as we can.
Maybe explain what exactly the 302.
Great question. A 302 is an involuntary commit. You can, as a police officer, if someone's having a mental, traumatic event, or they want to harm themselves or harm someone else, we can 302 an involuntary commit. You can do it as a parent or a loved one too. If you can actually go to a judge and get a 302 order. That's a great question. And basically, a 302 is basically you're confining this person to at least a 72-hour evaluation. But I will warn you that we've had situations where we've 302'd people, and by the time we got back to headquarters, they were already released because the psychiatrist said, "Oh, they're fine," and so it's based on the psychiatrist.
So, as mayor and through many different hats as a public servant, whether that a pastor, an imam, or whatever, but we have to explain to our residents what's really going on. I have a responsibility to explain to you so that you could be educated and understand the impingement from the macro Medicare and Medicaid being eroded, how that closing of lack of mental health, long-term care mental health facilities which are closing also, where hospitals and emergency rooms have to bear an inordinate amount of those types of patients, which they're not really equipped for, to hospital closure, lack of medical coverage, and how it affects our emergency response if somebody has a heart attack, if someone calls 911 or has a mental health issue at home, and then they go to the hospital where there was 6 or 8, now there's like 2, and then the emergency room, which is triaged with the most important cases they take first. You don't treat someone's having a heart attack with the same alacrity as someone's having a bee sting, unless they're having a reaction. And so you call 911 here, someone's having a potential heart attack, you take them to the emergency room at Fitz, and there's 10 people ahead of you that are having serious issues like that as well. So what that means is that the EMS person has to maybe take more matters into their own hands, treat the patient over and above what they normally would do, because there's no more room in the emergency room. And we've had incidents recently where someone was waiting so long, he's having a mental breakdown. He's waiting so long, he started fighting with the nurse. Then he started fighting with a security guard. Then 911 was when he started fighting with us. And then what do? They're already there to be 302, so you can't 302 or 3. So when the system backs up, this is what's happening. And you have to be prepared for this, because we're not going to be able to handle it all. And it's going to get worse. So I hate to say that when the Medicare, Medicaid, and the erosion of Obamacare, Affordable Care Act, kicks in after 2026, because some of these bills were timed to kicking after next year's midterms, it's going to get worse. So you have to be prepared for that, and we have to be prepared to have workarounds. Like I said, if that means EMS worker, police have to called into higher duty, because the limited emergency rooms are overloaded, and the system's backing up. So you have to be aware, and I have to be aware, and we have to be aware of what's really going on, how it impinges upon your health and our public safety. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's what's happening, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. Anything else? Yeah, and also crime stats. We talked to I always talk to the chief and let you know. There's not a whole lot going on, knock on wood. We also have petty thefts and just lock your cars, things like that. But serious crimes are down in our area and across the country. So if there's anything else to report, I'll give it to the chief.
I just want to thank the residents again. On May 22nd, we had an unfortunate incident at Church and Penn, the shooting where the individual was shot basically over an argument over a parking spot. Through the great efforts, I cannot praise Leah Sesnick enough personally, publicly. She did an unbelievable job, but with the help of the community, with the videos that we got, we were finally able to arrest the individual, and also with the help of the district attorney's office. They were great. They were great partners. That's why it's important. I know some people want to work in silos. I don't believe working in silos. We had Lansdowne respond, East Lansdowne respond, Upper Darby respond, Sharon Hill. We all worked together, and eventually we were able to get the individual. And it was just unbelievable work. Leah and CID from the County Detective Division, they work great together, and they're a great partner. With, as the mayor said, though, crime through the nation or nationally is going down, but it's still there. It's still something to worry about. We saw today there was I didn't even know who the individual was, to be candid. I guess he was a political figure or or I guess a conservative talk show guy. He was shot and killed. It is stuff like that. It's just, kinds of makes you think that there are a ton of guns out here. I'm not going to go down that road, but there are just way too many guns, and something to think about. But just on a positive note, I just want to announce a couple upcoming events that we're really happy. We're going to be participating again this year in the Faith in Blue celebration. That's a celebration where we bring the faith community and law enforcement together. So again, on October 10th, which is a Friday, and all this will be out on the website, we're going to have a circle at the Circle in Longacre. We're going to have a non-denominational service, just a prayer service, where last time we had an imam, the mayor in his pastor role was there. We're going to have clergy there. It's open to everyone. I reached out to a monk at the Buddhist temple in Upper Darby. Hopefully they'll show up. We reached out to a rabbi. Then Saturday, the chaplains, which Counselor Trueheart is one of the chaplains. We have a great chaplain program. They're going to have a breakfast for the officers. And then Sunday, we're going to be celebrating Mass at 11 a.m. at St. Michael's this year. The mayor hosted 2 years ago, now St. Michael's. So we are reaching out to different organizations. So everyone will be invited. It'll be out. I'll make sure it's on the website. October 10th, we're going to do 7 p.m. because we did it at 5 last time. We realized on a Friday with work schedules. So we'll do it, but we'll make sure it's out on the website. And one of our favorite events that we started, this our third annual event, is our Trunk or Treat event. This is an unbelievable event. The first year I tell this story at nauseum, Patty's hearing it. My wife and I are in my office doing these bags, and I'm like, 100 bags. I'm like, we're gonna have like 50 bags, like, ye a little faith. Well, I was out of candy about 6:15. I had to run to Family Dollar to buy candy, and that was maybe about 100 to 200 kids that year. Last year, I would say, because I don't want to be accused of giving fake statistics, what would you say, Patty? Okay, so this year, because I don't want to be accused, because I'll be all over, 500, yeah. That was at Rapp Curry Athletic Field at Kerr, and it was unbelievable. And this year, yeah. Yeah, and we reached out to other departments. What we're going to try to do is Mike's going to show off his new toy, his excavator, which was a success at the National Night Out for Mike and everyone that participated and the council members that showed up. Thank you very much. And Mr. Francis, that was, again, breaking down silos, working together, because we don't live in silos like what some people would like to put you in a silo. But that was an unbelievable success. But with the Trunk or Treat, we're going to try to have Touch a Truck, which is really popular. So we're going to we reach out to Aqua and other organizations to see if they can bring the big trucks so the kids can play on the trucks. So we're hoping to have a great event, and we have the best DJ in town. We have Sergeant Tony Johnson, which leads me to my next thing. Tony Johnson is unbelievable. He comes up with these great ideas. He came to me the other day, and I'm like, run with it. We're going to actually advertise too. We're going to ask for donations, if you can, non-perishable items, canned goods, because he wants to donate to Preston and Steve. And I understand it's Philabundance, Philadelphia, but they also supply Delaware County. We researched it. So we're going to do that. And the library, our great partners at the library, are going to let us put a box up there. We're going to have a box downstairs, and we're going to ask for canned goods to try to help out as much as we can. So that's the good things coming down. So.
Okay, before we have, what's it? Okay.
Are you accepting donations for the Halloween trunk or treat?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Trunk or Treat, we will accept.
We will accept donations if you can't show up, and then we'll give them out at our tent. And Patty has a sign up. We have 40 spots. They fill up very quickly. And like I said, it's an unbelievable event. Just come and show. We had a great time last year.
Where can we drop the donations off?
Well, please don't drink Hershey bars, because Hershey bars are my kryptonite, so just.
All right.
What's it called?
So we usually end at 8:30. Don't want to keep you past that, but before we have our raffle we're on time. Before we have our raffle giveaways and our refreshments, I want to give some time to my co-laborers here, counselors, if they have anything to add or say. I know Councilor Beatty has some updates, and anybody else. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. So as you saw at the table back there where Patty is sitting, that we are having our second annual Veterans Day brunch through the Recreation Committee. So the date is November 8th. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. This event is a registration event. It is free for veterans and invited guests, but we do ask that you register ahead of time so we can have enough food and prepare. Please go on our website if you want to see how nice it was. Those of you in the room who were there last year, you know it was a phenomenal event, and we are looking forward to having it again. In the back there, messing with the vegetables, is our recreation department gentleman, Mr. Roy Hunter, and he is also the contact for this event. So hope to see those of you who are veterans or a family member of a veteran. Please spread the word, and we look forward to that. We also will be having a holiday event, but we'll talk more about that closer to the date. So thank you so much.
And Mr. Hunter has some food from the garden, right? Vegetables from the garden.
40 days to get tomatoes, here comes Mickey,
Carrots, yeah.
people, here, dog day, and I'm walking, you know, the dog day, you know, your babies, and go out to a kitchen, and get a lunch, probably dog day, and
So get your doggy bag for those who have pets. So that right, yeah. And we have not only refreshments, and that's courtesy of Sister Joy and myself. It doesn't come out of the borough budget, but it's our give back to the community. But Mr. Roy Hunter, you do a great job. Let's give him a round of applause for what he does. I'm telling you, talk about being a public servant and giving back to the community and volunteering to do what he does. That doesn't go unnoticed. Any other counselor, any thoughts or...
Thank you. Forgive me, I had a fight with an insect and the insect won. So, but I just wanted to add to, and I'm so appreciative of what our chief and our mayor are doing, but one of the things that we, myself, along with other chaplains and other clergy across the county and other mental health providers, is to work with the National Association of Mental Illness to bring them in, to make sure people are being trained to be aware what to look for, and then how do we connect our communities with providers that are really going to help people when they need the help. So that's one of the things that we as chaplains with our police department will be working with them. I'm so excited about the PATH card because, again, we are a community, and how do we work together that are going to work holistically to serve the members in our community? If somebody truly needs support, let's get them directed to the right support that they need, because that's why we're here. So I just wanted to just add that, and you'll be learning and hearing more about that as I work with my other partners that are here in the borough and in the county to bring more and more of that information to us, and then have folks come in to provide additional training and resources to make people aware of, because the mental health issue, it is a crisis. And it's from the young to the old, and we need to prepare ourselves to be able to support them in the right way.
Councilor Roadcloud? Yeah.
Okay. Good evening. It seems like all we hear nowadays is just bad news. And all I have to say, just stay encouraged. Be encouraged. It's so easy to put someone down, point the finger at someone who's doing something that's wrong or what we perceive as being wrong. But we never take the time to just stop and have a conversation. Ask the simple question, are you okay today? A simple question will open up a whole nother door. You don't know who you may be saving at that time. It seems that we have forgotten how to just be kind to one another. No one is better than another person. No one. And it doesn't take a whole lot of money or time to just say hello, or just give a smile, or just say, is there something I can do to help? Even if it's just a listening ear. So let's all stay encouraged and keep doing what we're doing, but do it better each day. Just do it a little better than what you did yesterday. And that's all the words I have for today, because I'm going to stay encouraged. Everything's going to be all right.
Thank you, Councilor Roadcloud. Thought I was going to go into a little Bob Marley, everything, don't worry about a thing, because every little thing. But we thank you for that encouragement. Anybody else? Yes, Miss Anna?
Picking up parts line from stop sign, parts in all the way down London Street. Did you tell her that? I was on that, I did, and I asked her to go to the street. I stopped on her, kind of, people up, they go. Yeah. All of the cars, that was a great. That was, I could stand and said,
I'll let the police chief.
As I pointed out earlier, I know the mayor and council, we technically are full staffed, okay? So for example, in April, they wrote over 100 plus tickets. Well, August, most people with families in August, when you go on vacation, so we might have had 2 officers working each shift. So you're going out to stop a car when you're dealing with domestic, running from job to job, you don't have the time. So now, hopefully, now the vacation's over, we'll go back to an enforcement plan. That's the thing, and I've said it from the beginning, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I do not expect my officers, when there's only 2 officers out there, to stop a car, one go to domestic by themselves, or one go to a crime in progress by themselves while the other one's writing a ticket. If time permits, they're out there writing tickets. And the good news is, and the borough manager could probably touch on this too, a traffic study just came back in from the engineering department. So we have been so there are traffic studies out there, and they came up with some good ideas, but again, they're traffic calming measures, circles, bump outs, which at the end of the day, the engineers will work on that. So, but again, that's our plan. Our plan is to enforce traffic. But I can tell you right now, I know, because you live in Yaden, you see it in Yaden, but I drive down Chester Pike every day, and if I'm not doing 80 miles an hour to keep up, I'm getting passed. And that's Chester Pike. It's everywhere. It's not just, I mean, venture out of Yaden. I'm not just making excuses. Traffic's bad everywhere. And I say it all the time. It's stop signs or suggestions. They're not even stop signs anymore. And it's everywhere. I think after COVID, when people got back behind the wheel, they're like, damn be to driving. And that's not an excuse, but even on 95, coming to work on 95, if you're not doing at least 95, you're getting passed. And it's, yeah. Yeah. But and I'm trying to explain to you, as a chief that goes to chiefs meetings, it's everywhere. And that's what I'm saying. And we're working on it. And that's why I'm sure, you get pointed out, well, they only had 40 tickets in August. Yeah, because no, I'm talking, right? I'm talking the truth here. Let's talk the truth. Let's not talk like the keyboard warriors that want to attack on keyboards, but they don't want to come to your face because, again, they're keyboard warriors. But I won't digress on that. And I get, people tell me and I laugh. I'm like, listen, misery loves company. People typing this stuff are miserable people that are just miserable. They neither need a life or they need to get with Jesus or something, or Allah or Buddha, whoever, but they're miserable people. And come to my face, don't come to my back. But the point is, I agree with you 100%. Traffic is an issue. We're working on it. And now, again, vacation time's over, so we're going to enforce traffic. And we have been. And we have very aggressive officers downstairs that are enforcing, trust me, they're stopping a lot of cars.
Yeah, I don't think the issue is the response. I think the issue is experience at the time. It doesn't matter if it's a small street, a big street, a highway, a local streets. Clear to drive out there and drive. So I see over here, they have a statistics for how those speed bumps are doing in Lansing, East Lansing. They have like a big speed bumps, and we can slow it down.
I can reach out to them. I know they're there. But you're right. You're right. And you hate to say that. And I don't want to make excuses. Then it's like, oh, he's making excuses about traffic. Traffic is an issue. But after COVID, I think people just don't care. I mean, they legitimately don't care. And
I just don't know what's going on. That driving is scary. It's like a speed bump like me. I thought it suggested to
Yeah.
me in the suburbs, and people still fly on the bottom out. They don't care. They just keep going. The car breaks down. So it's, I don't know, you have to remember that drive. The location doesn't matter. We're going to run red lights, run stop signs. They're going to do the stadium.
And we talked about Bus Patrol. Real quick, Bus Patrol is that new AI software that is essentially, it takes a photo. If you overtake a bus when the red arm's out, it'll take a ticket. It'll take a picture and send a ticket. School bus in the school district. The first, what are we in the day, Patty? 3 days into school? Already 15 violations on a computer. 15. Overtaking a bus. And they're egregious. Egregious.
It says 50 miles per hour.
Trina, you had a question.
I'm sorry.
Trina, you had a
I was just wondering on the thing why. If you had it, it's about one way to speak. One way to the farm. Yeah, that's it. No.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna pass the mic on that one.
so far nothing, because that's where
Yeah, people have to get used to that, and I know the engineer is supposed to do something else at the Mike. Do you remember what we're going to do at the end of that street? I know we said do not enter. We're talking that, yeah.
No, not bad. I know that it was done to help prevent accidents and stuff that were occurring, that there's like president courthouse on Thursday, the day they go. You know, it's just one of the things like that. Not again. Uh-oh.
Oh, you mean
There haven't been any
how
major-
It's working. It's working very well. If that's your question, it's working. It's working very well. It's not. It has not. It's not a panacea in that people, and it's not a cure-all. But I would have to say that it's really calmed down the traffic in that area. And I could see the logic because you used to have, if that's the question, it's working. It was a four-way intersection where you could go either way. You could make a left or a right either direction. So I see the logic of what the engineer did. When making it a one-way makes it only 3/4 of the intersection. It cuts down on all the movements, and it's calmed down the traffic. I could just see and hear because I live right there, so I could hear the screeches. It's really calmed it down. Yeah, ma'am.
It's making 800 while signage being high. Like, then you can get speed, some kind of speed bump and 800 while signage because now the kids go up the big, everybody is zooming up Cypress Street, and that's becoming like a really dangerous, to me, a dangerous zone, because I live in the very beginning of the under Cypress. So I think that area needs to be addressed in the football as far as, you know, the traffic. That's just a suggestion.
It's an emergency, Rip. And let me say this about speed bumps too. I know Dan's in the audience, and he said something about people even violating speed bumps. You know, there's speed bumps now by, is it Island Road going by the Dunkin' Donuts, and I'm driving, and somebody's right in my, I gotta slow down and they're beeping me, and like they want to overtake me. I'm like, they don't even respect the speed bump. And I'm like, I got to slow down, dude, for the speed bump. And it's like, no, you don't. It's like, oh. So part of it is behavior. Yes. Ms. Leslie? Yes, I have. Yes.
Who is responsible for the 15-mile-an-hour school sign for entrance for the but it's not.
That was, I'm responsible for them. They were repaired as of yesterday. There was a few glitches with those new machines. Yes, they're all fixed. They're all good. Okay. Thank you for your concern. You're welcome.
I actually have a question about the Cypress Street. Cypress Street has become a hot highway since the streets have been reorganized. Because it isn't an emergency route, you cannot put any type of speed bump or humps or anything there. But maybe we can consider some sort of 3D calming measure, the painting. I've seen that in other, another country had it, and it tended to work. It was they painted the whole street, but because it was 3D painting, it appeared that it was something actually there, causing people to slow down.
Just had a conversation with the engineer, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we definitely have to come up with something, and I know we're limited, but there is something we can at least try.
Can you work on that? Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right, I don't want to keep you too much long, but it's good that everyone's excited and engaged. That's good. But let's have our raffle at this time. So we're going to, does everybody have your raffle ticket? And we have 5 $10 Wawa gift certificates and 2 $25 Wawa gift certificates. You really, yeah, Wawa's go-to. All right, what's the first ticket?
Last three numbers, first ticket is 056. Last three numbers, 056. Is that you? Oh, come on, Brenda. All right. Oh, yes. Thank you. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Next is 867. 867. Check your tickets, check your tickets. Oh, there you go. Let's put it here. 867. See, there you go. Good win there. All right, next is 864. 864. There you go. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
1, 5.
9, 1, 5. Ah, Dolly. Woo-hoo. Yeah, she always wins. Okay. 9:15. There you go. All right, next one. Let's see. Let's see if. All right. 9, 1, 6. 9, 1, 6. There you go, Pam. There you go.
We got two. Yeah.
All right.
The last two are $25.
That $25. All right, there we go. 866. 866. I think they left. There were two people that left. 866. All right. Going once, going twice. Try again. 902. 902. Oh, Leslie. Yeah. Thank you. Nice. I take that. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Last one, $25. You said, Mr. Mayor. All right. It's wow. All right. It's a 9, and it's a 0 and 4. Ah, there you go.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. This next forum is the first, should be the first Thursday in December. Yes, 9/11 tomorrow. Tomorrow is live in 11. Why don't we have just a moment of silence to honor the victims and to just remember that solemn day, just a moment of silence before we close. Amen. Thank you. So plenty of food, and then, you have the vegetables by Roy Hunter, and just help yourself, huh? Yeah, and doggy bags, exactly. Thanks for coming. Didn't we have a great time? Wasn't this a great time? Yeah. And thank Mr. Anthony for setting up and thanks for those who are tuning in at home.